Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Today we are going to create an email application, that will be able to send once we enter email, the subject, the email addresses, whether it's 1 or 2 or as many as we can. We can send email to multiple recipients. So we'll enter the email address, the subject and the message. So before we begin, let's take a look at what we are going to create in this video. So let's open our emulator. So here is the app. On this app, I can just enter. Let me just use a test email address. Let me write test@gmail.com. I can decide to use multiple email. Let me write a subject. Alright, so I'm going to try to send this email. Let's see what will happen. You can see it will ask us to choose an email client. So I decide to choose Gmail at Gmail. Let me try again. Alright, so you can see it showed me this is the email that I'm logging, cleverdeveloper71@gmail.com, and these are the email that I decide to use. You can choose as many email as you like, and this is the subject and this is the message. So we can decide to send this email and it will be sent to, if this email address are valid, it will be sent to them, including the text and the subject. So this is what we are going to create in this video. So let's get started. We're going to create a new project. We're going to call it email application. We are using Java. You can use any SDK level that you wish. We click on finish. So let me close the former project that I own. Alright, so to save our time, to make things life easier for us, I have the XML code. I'm going to just copy and paste so that it will be very fast for us. I'll provide it in the description for you. So I have my XML code here. Now in my XML code, I have the layouts. The main layout is a linear layout. Orientation is vertical. Width is match parents. Height is match parents. I created another linear layout. Set it as orientation to be vertical. So inside the linear layout, I set edit text. The first edit text should be for the recipient that you are sending to. The second edit text is for the subject. The third one is for the body. The last one is a button. So I gave all of them ID. I gave the first edit text as M receiver, the second edit text as M subject, the third edit text as M MSG, and the button as M send. So I'll be able to reference all these in my Java class to use them. So let's get to our Java class. So on this our Java class, we are going to set a variable for all our edit text. The first variable we are going to set is the edit text. We'll set it as text to. The second edit text will be subject, text subject. The third will be text body. So these are our variable for the edit text. So the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to use the variable and reference all our edit text and button from the XML file by the IDs. Let me create one for button also. Alright, so what I did is that I created all the, I was able to reference, I created the variable for, all my edit text and button, and I reference all of them by the ID from the XML file so that I can use them. So the remaining one I need to reference by ID is the button. So the next thing I'm going to do is that whenever the user enter the recipients, the subjects and the text in the body and click on the send button, the message will be able to, the app will be able to lead the user to the email application for the user to be able to send mail. So for that case, we need to set an on-click listener to the button so that to be able to listen to a click and send the user to an email application. So let's set an on-click listener to the button. Alright, so we have set an on-click listener to the button, but we need to get all the information from the inputs. We need to create a way that we can get all information from the tool, which is the recipient, the subject and the body. So in order to do that, we are going to set all of them. We are going to create a string variable to get all the information from the inputs. So the first one we are going to create is for the recipient. Now for me to get the recipient, remember I told you that you can use more than one recipient. Remember, email can be sent to multiple users, same email. So for us to do that, we will not just use only a string variable. We are going to use a string array so that all the user will be set in an array of strings. So we are going to create an array of string and set this variable of string, which is going to get the input from the recipient input and store it as an array of string in our application. So let's create an array of string. So we have successfully created this. Let's get input from the subject and the body. So these ones we don't need array or string, just a simple string variable is okay. Alright, so with all this variable that we have created, it will be able to get, this variable is to get the inputs of the people we are sending it to, and we'll set it to an array or string if there are more than one user, if there are more than one recipient, one receiver. So it will be in array or string. Then for the subject, we'll get this array this string subject will get the input from the subject, will get the information from the subject input, and this variable message will get the input from the body, will get all the value from the body input. So now once we have gotten all the values, what are we going to do with it? We are going to set an intent. Remember that it's moving from our application to Gmail application, so we need to use an intent. Intent help you to move from one activity to the other, or from one app to the other. So let's create an intent. Now why did we set this intent dot action send? Because this intent is to trigger a send action from our app, asking us to choose the app that we want to send information to. Alright, so all these intent, the first intent is to get the receivers, the second is to get the subjects, and the third one is to get the message. So this is how we set intent for all these things. So the next thing we are going to do, we're going to tell our intent the kind of message, we are going to create the intent to make, like, telling our application that this is the type of intent we are creating. This type of application you need to trigger to open while we click on the send button. Now what we did here now, these two lines of code, let me just explain the meaning. This intent is to set the type of message, the type of intent to be message, and the message should be for email. And why did we use this code ROFC822? Let me show you the meaning of it. This is a code description. The ROFC822 library provide function for passing email header in ROFC8 format. This library also includes some function to help with encoding and decoding text as defined by ROFC 2047. So this is like a code that help you to choose, that help our application to detect email applications. If it is Gmail, if it is Yahoo Mail, anyone that is in our phone, it will be able to detect it using this code. So that's why we put message and slash this code. So now, after trying to choose an application, it will show us a message that choose an email client. So that's why we set this image. So we are done with our app. So let's test the app. That was the former one that we tested before. So let's see this new one. Alright, so let's test it. Let's give it more than one email. So let's give it a title. Body. Alright, so we have our email, list of email that we are going to use. So we have email 1, email 2, and email 3, and we have the subject and we have the body. So let's try to send it. So you can see it show us the message which we have here. Choose an email client. So I will click on Gmail. You can see, let's try it again. Our Gmail app is misbehaving. Let's try again. So you can see it has led us to email. showing +1, showing that there's still another email again. So you can see how it is. We can send email from our app, and this is if I try to send it to our official Gmail account. If I try to send it from this our official Gmail account to all these email, if these emails are valid email, it will be sent to. So thank you for watching. If you find this video helpful, please do it to subscribe to this channel, and thank you for being our subscriber, as I expect you to subscribe.